Hello everybody, welcome back to NLC Division 2. We're on to match point in our losers bracket semi-finals. I don't know exactly what this I don't know how double them works in terms of nomenclature. Lower bracket round 2. Round 2, thank you very much, production. That's what it's called. It's Lightside against Fløng. It's 2-0 Fløng at the moment as we move into our third game of the evening. And M-Test, what do Lightside need to do to start the reverse sweep?
There, man. Well, the first step is to win games, right? And then this how does that happen? What do we do? Honestly, I think after a game like this, it's really rough on their mental because they just had to feel that they had it in the bag. You know, they had Nash 3 times that game and they still managed to lose somehow. So the first thing you have to do is just try to reset your mind as good as you can, and then you have to figure out, like, guys, okay, why did we lose these games? And I think the answer is because, honestly, it's so hard as well because I think they just misexecuted their comp. They just played individually worse than their enemy in these fights. And you could say, well, that's a good thing. Then it's kind of easy to fix because everyone knows, okay, I'm going to do this differently this time around, and then we're probably going to win. On the other side, though, it's kind of hard to figure out exactly. It's not like something fundamental, like, okay, we need to draft this pick instead. We need to do this instead. It's really rough for Lundqvist, but one thing that they can do is just try, as you mentioned, if you go 0-2 down in a best of 5, it's just best of 1s after that. So if they can get into that mindset and just take it game by game, I think they have a shot. I think honestly they should still just draft the same way that they are doing. Because I don't think, by the looks of it, I don't think Lundqvist has the fundamentals to play a sort of game or like play towards the side lane, play like the 1-3-1 style. I think they should just keep draft towards team fights and hope it works out, honestly, man. I think if they play just a little bit better that game, or if Vangstedt is just not complete monster on Ornn, they probably take that dub home and we have a series on our hands. Now it's up to them to just have the mental fortitude to be able to withstand Fløng.
And for Fløng, as we said, they're 2-0 up in this series, but I mean, game 1 was very confident from them, and it was definitely 2 compositions that play the same way. They played it better, so they won the game deservedly. Game 2 was Vanguard, and they had Vigar. So they're one of those. There's an easy solution to one of those problems. You ban Vigar. What's the solution to Vangstedt? Like, what do we do here?
That's a really good question, right? Because this guy has been, he's been playing so much Ornn, both in the regular split and also today. And you could say, okay, let's just ban the Ornn. It's just so annoying to deal with. They have 2 immobile carries who has to blow their flash almost every single time his Ornn is up. On the other hand, he has so many champions to his name that he can just pull out. I think he has so much left in his tank to pull out. This is just like one of his picks that he can play, and you just have to be willing to take a bet, honestly, this time around. If you want to ban the Veigar, sure, go for it. Make Viper happy. If you want to make Sven happy, just ban the Ornn, or maybe just pick. I don't know. Maybe Sven picks Sion this time around, and he's just kind of a tank. He was really. I think he would stand a lot of pressure in that game, and he was playing well considering it. But he was not really a champion in the game, honestly. He could be in a much better pick, like a tank, and be able to, even though he's getting camped, like Vangstedt was in the first game, he was still playing Malphite. He didn't care if he was 0-5. He just found the engages and made sure that Fløng could play the comp as they wanted.
It's going to be the Viego finding the block, so Shaft is going to have to be on something new. Volibear, same old, same old. We're into Champion Select. Fløng on the blue side once again. Lightside electing to stay on the red. And the question is, with Viego taken off the table, what is going to sneak through? And what are Fløng going to want to prioritize now that they can't grab the champion that they B1'd last game?
I mean, also, there's like the obvious factor in the Jinx, right? Which we didn't see them prioritize in the last game. And I just wonder if Goofy was kind of one-sided to pick this champ. He played it twice now. Didn't really, he played well, right? But it didn't result in them getting a dub. So I wonder if they just keep gonna do the same thing. I wonder if they're... it could just that they decide to steal the Hecarim away, but they might just be happy giving Swictor that away, considering they got the wins. They don't have to be scared, but I see now that Seri is open.
Yeah,
I think Goofy would just be happy to get this going, honestly.
Could look for that one, could look to go in a different position and just leave that potential up again, or Vangstedt could just break some kneecaps and first pick the...
What? That's crazy.
That's not a B1, Fløng. What? Why?
That's absolutely crazy. I thought it was for a second there was a mistake there, but they just locked. They just have Shyvana, they insta lock it in, so for sure it's not a mistake. I have no clue where this is going, honestly, Viperun. I think you don't as well. It could be top, could be jungle.
We've seen Shyvana this split from Fløng. It was in the jungle, and it wasn't very good from memory. So it might be going to Shafty's hands again. It would make sense considering that the Viego was banned away, which is what he's been prioritizing. But other junglers exist. We've got the Jhin for Sadie, so the Jinx hasn't been the option. I'm interested to see if they decide to go for the Jinx themselves, but it's going to be the Diana, so maybe they have to force Errol towards that Yasuo, because that would be a very spicy mid-jungle duo if Fatty P wants to secure that one. But I am fascinated by what is going through Monkholm's mind right now, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, I am for sure. The Hecarim Haverdarius tells me that Vangster is going to play this Shyvana up to the top lane. But I mean, honestly, could be anything, right? Maybe, I mean, it could legit be also that Fløng is just kind of disrespecting them. They kind of know that they're there in the driver's seat, they are 2-0 up, and that's like the biggest mistake you can make, actually, because when you're 2-0 up, that's actually this, like, probably if Lundqvist has good mental, this is like the easiest game for them to win, because enemy team, they're kind of already thinking what they're gonna have for dinner. I hope they already had dinner, actually, because it's quite late. But if they didn't, they're thinking maybe I will order some fried chicken, maybe I'll have a pizza. But
some Greg's.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this is like where Lundqvist can decide to strike, right? But the Aurelia coming in now, this is gonna be an explosive game. Let me tell you that.
Well, the Aurelia coming on through, it could be middle, could be top. We've got Errol likely on the Tryndamere, as that one has been secured. Zaya is not a particularly interesting pick, and there you go, on off the table. None of that. I'm interested though, because now that they've got what is potentially mid, what is potentially bot, the Shyvana could be anywhere, we just don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lightside banning away stuff like the Rakan, because Ron Beggy had a good game on it, game number 1, and with the Zarya there's the extra incentive.
Yeah, no, I think that could be a good ban for sure to look at, because once again, you're playing against the likes of Diana Aurelia. They're going to play a heavy dive comp this time around by the looks of it. Lundqvist and then Rakan, for sure, is good to just kind of negate that and then re-engage for a team. So, Bandit Leona as well from Fløng, it kind of... I mean, Rakan Leona is kind of a skill matchup. I think if you're a good Rakan, you can play this matchup and you're confident in it. But this could also just incentivize that Lundqvist wants to maybe ban the Rakan, which I hope, right? As you mentioned, I think it's a good choice. The Saya, even though it's not interesting, for sure, like the best AD pick in this game. You're playing as Diana, Aurelia, like 2 dive champions. The Cassivan actually going to be locked in for Errol, which is interesting, right? Because this puts... I mean, this just puts us into perspective that Lundqvist has also no clue where these champs are going. We have Errol and Trin that could go mid, could go top. We also have Shyvana, could go jungle, could go top. I assume it's not going to be support, right? But there are combat up, as you mentioned, which was we wanted to see on the side of Fløng, but they decide to ban it out themselves. I have no clue what this means.
Well, they're looking potentially towards this Nautilus, which would be a very strong pick up. We know how good it is alongside the Jhin, and it still leaves open the Aurelia flexibility, which will keep members of Fløng guessing to maybe deny them a counter pick into that matchup. Now, Fløng have to answer some questions, because Errol's been the only one, I believe, from this roster to play the Tryndamere this split. Shafty's the only one to have played Shyvana, but those champions can go into other positions. Of course, Shyvana can be played top. Probably shouldn't be playing at jungle, to be honest, but we'll find out how that one goes as we move into the Rift. We've got Tryndamere. That, of course, is a pretty decent pickup into the top side as well. What's going to be going alongside the Zarya, and what's going to be going into the hands of one of the solo laners or jungler? Malphite, so Shyvana jungle, Tryndamere mid, probably?
Yeah, that makes like the most sense, right? Then again, we can't really go by the laws of logic, I think, in this best of 5, because these players just do whatever they feel like on the day. I would like to see a Brahmer, honestly. I think it's just good into the Diana Aurelia. They have the engage as well with the Malphite, but they were hovering Yuumi. It's a bit respectable as well, honestly, but I mean, it's completely lost at this point, honestly. But what do we do?
Is Malphite support? I guess with the Shyvana jungle, Tryndamere goes top?
I think it's a bigger chance that it's Sylas support, actually, because when I look at the matchup, Aurelia is like just stomping Sylas, kinda. And I would be surprised if it's Malphite's, but we don't know, right? We're just gonna. Why do we even try to analyze this? We should just wait and see what happens. We see.
Tom Kench top.
What is going on, man? What is going on?
This is the deciding game.
It makes no sense. I feel like Fløng, their coach, he had to leave for like and maybe he has like night classes, like he takes math classes in the evening, and they just had to do the draft themselves, and this is what they came up with. Like, this is like
got locked in the toilet.
Yeah,
comes back and is like, "What even have you? Why is Silas support? What have you done?" And he was like, "What did you B1?" It's like, "Oh yeah, Shimano. Oh yes, sound."
Oh yeah, that's the classic. This is crazy. I have no clue what is going on. I do like though. I think Shafty. The only guy I won't dodge if I see Shyvana jungle is Agurin. This guy is actually completely cracked on this champ. The other, I have actually never seen another Shyvana player rather than him. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what he decides to go for. I can't really analyze, honestly. That this is just crazy.
I don't. Okay, this is where my tech comes in, because I have talked to very recently actually. Watley, who's the Tom Kench top 1 trick. So the Malphite matchup is actually really, really good for Tom Kench. Okay. It's a really, really nice matchup. Whether Tom Kench top doesn't work in comp, like it just doesn't.
Yeah, like what
doesn't work because it's really great 1v1. It's a really good dueling pick because you've got so much damage. You can actually provide a little bit of CC for your team now as well because Abyssal Dive has now moved on to Ian, does some CC, but. This is going to be another episode of it doesn't matter if you kill Vangstead because he's Malphite, so he's just going to click R and ult you. And also, we've got Silas who can just eat people because we're going to steal Top Kench ultimate, so have fun. Like, it's League of Legends, everybody. We've got it on your screens. Have Lightside done enough in draft to win themselves this game that they need to keep themselves in the series?
I mean, I do feel like Fløng is just kind of trying to gift them this one. I mean, the logic I can like see as well is they picked Malphite. They realized, oh, Lundqvist has not picked the top lane, so we're forced to pick the Silas away. Unless if not Sven is gonna pick it, it's gonna have a free matchup into the Malphite. It's just gonna be OP later on. But even then, it just makes like one is just if you wanna plan on picking Malphite on 4, just. Yes, ban it away, honestly. Like they decided to ban Rakan away themselves. I don't know.
Okay, this is the question. So you play bot. You played bot a competitive level. You've been to the European Masters. You're in solo queue and you see your support just lock in Silas support. What do you do?
The first thing I do is I copy his name and I go into LoL Pros and I look at him and I see if he's someone I know or not. If he's not someone that I know, I probably just dodge if I have. If I don't have a dodge, if I already dodged on that day, I'm thinking just, okay, this game it's really important that I have fun. I need to have fun because I'm probably not gonna win, right? That's like the logic you have to go for. If you don't win, you need to have fun. So that's like what I do. I know that actually the one guy I played Silas support with in solo queue is Targamas, and this guy is actually
he's a good player.
He is so cracked. Like he plays like 20 different supports, so I can respect that when he fixes it. I hope Rotebengi knows what he's doing. He's gonna be weak early on, and this Touch knows this, right? Side is just going on to the Rotebengi misses the E as well, and this is the downside, right? As you mentioned, Svene, he's gonna try to gap Vangstead as hard as possible, and actually gets a decent trade, as you mentioned. A really good matchup by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's really, really great for the Tom Kench. Super strong, aggressive early bully. And I don't usually get to flex my knowledge of Tom Kench top. Tom Kench top. So I'm gonna utilize that while we have the opportunity. Thank you very much, Lightside. But it is just a case of he's gonna be really hard bullying Vangstead, who's actually gone for the Comet, so wants to be able to poke a little bit himself and maybe doesn't want to melee range interact with the Tom Kench, which I can appreciate. One thing to note is that Tom Kench is not going to be as tanky because the way that his Grey Health shield works, it's not so hot if you haven't got someone nearby anymore. As an attempt to nerf Tom Kench top because it was really stupid about 3 months ago.
Oh yeah, that grass probably looked stupid as well. He already has so much damage in his kit. I just remember that when I played like a 1v1 tournament as well, and Tom Kench was really dominant in this kind of setting because obviously you don't have a jungler that you have to play around. and it's just purely 1v1. So Tamkesh was actually like banned quite a lot of the time. Maybe this was Svenne knows as well. I think he was actually in that tournament too. So maybe that's why he has decided to pick up the Tamkesh. But Errol is going to be getting ganked here though.
Yeah, flashing away, has the heal in pocket if he needs it. As Fatty actually taking a little bit of damage from a couple of tower shots. But right now, Lightside seem to have priority across all the lanes, and I mean, I see why, because they're the team that's closer to having a draft. It's bad that we're not discussing like which is the better draft. It's more like I can kind of see Lightside having one, although they're going to go in. A lot of damage coming in early. Sadie goes down for first blood. Silas support Babi as Touch is in trouble. Going to try and back away. Diana's there, but the thumbs up from the Silas support says it all as we move into mid lane, and Fatty B goes low. Won't go down to Errol, who doesn't have flash, remember, because it was blown on the last gank.
It just looked like Sadie walked up, so he was completely disrespecting. Walked up, he didn't have a wave. He was kind of standing in the side of Flong's wave actually. Now Errol. He's gonna get away. Tryndamere has the E up, really oppressive. But yeah, once again, it looked like Sadie was just completely disrespecting there. And actually once, I just know this, that once Silas is level 3 on the support, the few times I did play with it, it's actually like quite spiking, and if you don't respect it, it's gonna shut a lot of damage. Here as well, Touch is nowhere. He's not like really able to be able to counter this at all. I think it's Sadie. It just looked like he disrespected there once the Silas Q is down, and he just gets completely melted.
And yeah, it's just a case of there's another lockdown from Silas, apparently. So you just get the kill and then moving into mid lane. A lot of damage coming in from Tryndamere early as well, but of course not having the flash means the Fatty feels reasonably confident just to be able to get out of that one, and then is able to just dance away from the return gank. But hey, first blood going over to Fløng. Pretty nice for them. Sets themselves up potentially. Again, not entirely sure how this composition plays out. Okay, as an expert in the League of Legends, Malphite, Shyvana, Tryndamere, Xayah, Silas. What does your comp want to do?
Okay, so actually, okay, I could see the fact that they have the Xayah, the poke Xayah, right? And Shyvana, usually what you do is you go like this. I don't even remember the name of it. The Night Harvester, I guess it's called. The poke item where it's kind of like what you used to build on Karthus, but not so much anymore. Then you go Nash's Tooth into that, and then you like have actually a lot of poke, and maybe this is what Flong wants to do. They have the Shyvana, they have the Xayah poke, and then they finally engage with Vangsted, but I see double Ruby Crystal on Shefty. Looks like he's going for some sort of tank build. Could it be like going towards the camp tank? So honestly, by that logic, I have no clue, man. They just think they're the better players, I guess, and they are going on the Sadie once again.
Sadie going very, very low, gets away, but it's going to be followed up by Guff as he turns around towards Touch. He's gone low as well, but Lightside were able to secure the kill on to Meggy and Errol mid as well, actually. So it was a 2-for-1 exchange overall. And it looks like Vangsted is just going to be able to cover this mid lane, but here comes the Tahm Kench moving forward towards Vangsted, who has the ultimate away, but has no mana, needs to be careful getting under tower, but flashes away, still goes down though to the Ignite as we see Shyvana moving on forward. Shafty is going to try and get some play happening, remember has pressed the attack, so a little bit of buzz damage is available, and has Roland Beggy in support on the Silas, diving on through, the damage is there. As Shafty just plays bounce to allow the Silas to secure the kill. Spit through, almost takes down Fatty P. Close but no cigar from the Shyvana, but a very wild set of plays there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Rotterbengi just played the map well there. He just knows that he just has the path through mid. The fight is happening. Svenne thinks that they can just kill the Shyvana after he ulted in, but wait, we're not done yet. Errol going in for some sort of trade. Touch try to trade back, but looks like... I mean, I guess this could also be the thing with Shyvana. She's just... clearing really fast, and while Victor can match this on the Diana, if Shafty can get, if Flong can play for kind of the Drakes this game, Shafty's gonna be able to scale a lot better. Already is actually Xayah has 2 kills already, she's kind of snowballed, but this once again, Rotterbengi, he doesn't really care, he just goes in, he knows he has the backup on Shafty, even though Shafty's still level 5, they managed to at least trade 1-for-1 in this setting, and then afterwards we see, I guess Fatty P got the soul, was it a soul kill onto Tryndamere, was maybe Svenne was here at the time around. I don't know. This game is just completely crazy. I guess here we see actually yes, Svenne managed to assist his mid laner, and while we saw a lot of trades being traded there, we see Fatty P actually picking up 2 kills already on this Aurelia, and this like has to be kind of somewhat the shining light of Lundqvist. That he can be ahead he should be able to win the matchup against Tryndamere, and then he just kind of has to snowball in that regard.
I mean, absolutely. We talked about this last game when Errol was on the Aurelia, saying we want to get Aurelia a couple of early kills, 2 or 3 would be great. And Fatty P has already grabbed himself 2 kills at this very early stage. And this is where we see that 1v1 happen. So Errol goes in, level 6 versus level 5, gets stunned up. And as you can see, the Tom Ketch is moving in, gets the knock up. And then Errol is just unable to secure anything. Of course, the Tom Kench eat is about the same length as the Tryndamere ultimate. So nice hold from Errol not to get caught out by that. But then isn't able to survive any further as Dragon going down Infernal to Lightside. So something that should be noticed as well. I just went back during that last replay. He talked us through very effectively just to see exactly what Shafty went last time we saw him on the Shyvana. It was the Iceborne Gauntlet, which is kind of what I expect to see again, because it's this press the attack, you go demonic embrace as well. And I'm going to rescind my previous statement where I questioned it and said it didn't do very well from memory. That must have been a different Shyvana, because looking at it, it was actually all right. It had a pretty effective one. It was against Monster Rugby, where Monster did, of course, win that one because they won most of the games they played last split. But the Shyvana seemingly was not the issue, so have to apologize to Shafty for that one. As Ron Beggy moving in towards Victor. Nice ultimate coming through from the Diana, but it's going to be a decent amount of damage coming on through. I don't think Victor's long for this world, as Guff secures the kill.
That looked completely random. He had no prior in either bot or mid, but decided maybe I can sneak this red buff. Gets caught out though, which honestly Goof is just having a good time, and his lane is gonna be able to scale insanely well on the side. He's gonna outscale Jin, like that is just for sure. And while we thought that this Silas pick was just really random, Rottebeng and Goof, they have been making a lot of work with it. They have been pressuring both sides and touch a lot, and this could be like the surprise factor, right? When you're playing against something that you're not used to, and this is what we kinda come to respect the Fløng for. They're playing so many different champs, they're not scared to pull them out in a best of 5 series, and honestly, like Side and Touch, they kind of just seem quite lost about what this champ is actually doing. As I say that though, Fatty P is going
He's got support from Touch though, so he should be okay. Errol does have the ultimate available, the Undying Rage, and Ron Bengi hanging around in the wings. Might look to go in though. Fatty P is quite extended. Ron Bengi coming on through, getting ulted by his own ultimate as the silence is here, but Shafty in the side. Can he get the ultimate? He's going to go Dragon Form if he wants to try and spit down and get some damage. Unable to do so. And as you can see, the Iceborne Gauntlet has been secured for the Shyvana. So he's going to be able to provide a little bit of slows and a little bit more CC than necessarily you'd see on this champion, but very, very interested to see how this game develops, because it looks like Victor's going to be moving towards that top side. Vankstead could be in trouble. Has ultimate that he can use defensively. Going to be caught out by that warden. Yep, right over the wall.
Yes, gonna be able to. Yes, doesn't hesitate at all. Yes, knows if I don't use this, I'm just dead, right? I mean, as you mentioned, I'm surprised to see the Iceborne Gauntlet, but what I can make out of it is that Shyvana, even though she's been like kind of full tank, she has like the base damage of her when she's in her dragon form is just so low. Wait, as I say, this was very good for one.
He will be able to get a kill onto Malphite first, but now it's a case of Shafty. Remember, press the attack, has the tankiness, secures himself the kill.
Yeah, Lewis looked like a. It's an easy pick up there for Shafty. I think it's worth for them, for Fløng for sure. I mean, I think Vankstead does in the end lose a couple of waves, but that's just gonna go into the pocket of Shafty, and Svene, while being Tam Kench, managed to get a solo ball. He has like kind of some sort of bragging rights. He gives 1 kill over to Shafty. He's gonna get like, so many plays from this, even though he has a TP, and yeah, Shafty's just gonna snowball out of control from this. He's already 20 CS up. He has 1 item. Svene doesn't even look like he wants to TP. Now it's gonna come in, but almost 4 plates given away there to Shafty, and he's really just far ahead in this game so far.
Mr. Observer, if we could get the toggle on gold very quickly, just to see how much Shyvana actually has in pocket. So yeah, 1.7k and is sitting 1,300 up on the lane opponent. Dashley's going to just get that first tower, as well as Svene is alone under there. Shouldn't be looking to fight though, as actually the Tom Ketch is looking to try and get the knock up. Shafty needs to be careful, a level down, and with a lot of gold in pocket, is going to just tag out Vankstead moving forward. But that's a really nice position to be in. Shyvana, a champion that can definitely snowball out of control. We've been seeing, I mean, we usually see the either full AP or full tank, and with the boots, and then going into the Vamp Scepter, a couple of daggers.
He's gonna go blade in Rook in second. That sounds really That sounds really... I have never seen that before, honestly. I guess he wants to be some sort of split-pushing threat. I honestly have no clue what is going, but let's say that Fatty P.
Ooh, in mid lane, Fatty P trying to get some damage down. Ignited, Errol's low, but of course has the ultimate, as the Tryndamere. As Touch is going to be caught out, but that's an anchor mid-air. As Victor goes over the walls, Shafty is going to follow. And you know what? Fløng are playing with style right now. They pick any 5 champions, and they're just going to do work. Sadly's caught out, has to use the Gale Force, but is going to be able to escape for now, at least. As Rodabengi moving forward, can't grab anything and will just sit back. Svenny moving into the mid lane as Guff takes a plate, but Fløng commanding lead, and it's looking difficult for Lightside to find their way into this game at the moment.
They look so disoriented. Fatty P there, I respect it. He's playing early, he wants to play aggressive, but in that scenario, Fløng knows they have the numbers to back him up there, and he just gets completely one-tapped. As I say, this Touch still has the flash, but Rodabengi is actually like this is a side of support, remind you. As I say that, Sad is actually Touch is gonna go down as well.
I'm lost for words at this point. Svenny moving mid to defend what is left of that outer tower as Shafty picks up the dragon. Of course, Shyvana's very, very good at taking down dragons solo and quickly, so able to grab the Hextech. The Ocean will be our 3rd Dragon Soul. Unique 3rd Dragon Soul, actually. We've had Infernal and Hextech. But let's have a look exactly what happened mid as the teleport comes in top. So, Sally's just half health and there's a Malphite.
That's a bit unfortunate, Lundqvist. Oh, he doesn't react to the flash in time. That's quite rough. You're playing Jhin against a Malphite. You are so behind. Rodabengi then just completely sweeps Touch. Trashes him, but gets the kill. Honestly, I think this is probably for sure. The Silas wins like 1v1 against Jhin if he will go silent, even though he's playing support. It looks like he's going for the Everfrost as well. It's gonna have even more CC. I don't think there's gonna be. Okay, so we have kind of a time to talk about this, unless Fløng is gonna be able to contest this. Looks like they're actually moving in.
Arrows there as well. Vangsted in the wings. I don't know if they're going to be able to secure themselves. The objective is actually going to be taken by Victor, who gets himself onto the eye, but may well go down in short order on the side. Rodabengi was looking for a re-engage, but couldn't find one in the other half of the fight. So it's just going to be a Rift Herald Eye exchanged for the Diana.
This is just completely, when I just think about it more and more, it just feels completely disrespectful from Fløng. They're picking just 5 champions that they are playing well, and they know that Lundqvist doesn't know how to play against them, and they, by the looks of it, they just look completely disoriented. Fløng is just getting kills right and left, and Lundqvist are not being able to answer at all, honestly. Victor gets the Herald there, which is good, gets the objective bounty, but when you realize that you have actually like this hard objective bounties like 50 minutes into the game, I don't know if you're like happy or sad, honestly. Looks like Fløng is like kind of playing with their food, and they're not scared to take any fight at all. And Lundqvist really needs to. I'm just trying to look at their comp as well and see what they want to do. It's really hard when they're this behind. They have to just have to give in to this Fiesta and keep fighting. Victor might be able to find something here, but they're just gonna back away.
But they do have those 2 kills on Fatty P still, so the Aurelia on the side lane, just going to be split pushing away, maybe getting some objective bounties. Of course, they are now available because of the dominating gold lead from Fløng at this stage in proceedings. And if you just look across the board, you've got a few bounties there. You've got gold leads pretty much every lane except for mid.
Oh damn, that is crazy to watch. Just Shaft being 2.6k ahead on the Shyvana. Already has a Drake under his belt. He's gonna keep, he's just you see how fast he's clearing. It's just all his camps are kind of gone at the second they spawn, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. He already now has the blade finished. It's an odd build, I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen this on Shyvana, but once again, no one is kind of playing this champion, so what do I know, right? I wonder what his 3rd item is gonna be. Is he gonna be just even more tankiness, or he's gonna go like go for this bruiser build? He's gonna go for maybe a Sterax, like I don't know, no one knows. Touch though, face checking without flash, I think he's dead. Yeah,
Touch is gone, and Rodabengi gonna be picking up a Rampage 4-1 and 5 on the support Silas, as you do. And now we'll be able to move through the jungle with impunity as the rest of his team, well, Guff and Shafty, move in towards the mid lane tower. Rift Herald Eye is going to be dropped top alongside the Aurelia to give some support to the split push, as Lightside will be able to defend that objective mid. Shafty moving into the jungle. You've got to back him into that 1v1 against Victor, 2 levels to the good with those 2 items as well, including the Mythic. whereas Victor has just managed to grab the Nash's tooth and nothing further. But Sadie goes very, very low, going to be slowed up, and Rottenbengi picks up another. Will need to be a little bit careful, though. Is caught up under tower, burning from the ignite. The ultimate coming through, but it's going to be instantly responded to as Sveni moves forward. Going to dive on through, and with the tongue, should grab the slow. Nice dodge from Rottenbengi. It's there, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to provide. He's just a Malphite, but he steps into the wings just to watch as Rottenbengi shut down Victor, grabbing the bounty. That could be pretty nice for the Diana.
Yeah, that could be for sure. I think if there's one champ that can kind of carry on the side of Lundqvist, it is Diana, but now Touch once again with no flash going on to Lightside has still his ultimate. I wonder if he's going to be willing to use
it. Victor on the side though, but Sharpie's there, and that's a whole heap of damage coming out of this. Shyvana moving towards the Diana. Won't be able to find too much more, but turning his attention towards Fatty P. The 1v1 with the Irene, but Victor's moving forward, has to flash. Shafty can now look to return to the fight, though, as Fatty P is deleted by Vankstead. And now Shafty on the Shyvana will be able to get revenge immediately, you've got to imagine, with a couple more auto attacks. In the mid lane, Errol picks up the kill onto Sadie and then moves away from Svene, as it's two low members of Fløng going to try and steal away this blue up. But the Tom Kench might actually fancy himself to move in and deny. Dragon is on the table. Shafty, of course, on the Shyvana will want to be doing those to get himself a little bit more in the stat department. Should be able to start up as Rottenbengi moving on forward. Svene's there just to try and defend. It's a nice set of chains. It's a nice slow. The Abyssal Dive is going to be stopped, and the Dragon secured as Svene runs for the hills, trying to get over with the blast. Will be able to do so as the Rottenbengi flash is denied, trying to get onto the Tom Kench, but the Catfish will waddle out.
A lot of cocky movement there. Rottenbengi just cancelling the Tamkench, trying to escape with his Everfrost active, but not enough. Sven has once again the cocky movement and gets out. And when I just look at this Tamkench, I can imagine that what you said, right? It's a good matchup into the Malphite. But off the lane, I just feel like this champ actually accomplishes nothing by what it does. And here, actually Tamkench looks good here, right? But he managed to eat the Guffe. They actually managed to kill him. Okay, never mind. Sven is actually turbo useful, which is nice to see. Sad though, getting one-tapped by Errol. And I mean, this game is just chaotic, right? I feel like Fløng, they're just fighting everywhere, Perma, and Lundqvist are trying to kind of stay alive and fight the best they can, but they don't know how to fight against the enemy champs. And now Touch once again. They are just so disoriented, man. I feel like they're already kind of giving up. They're trying to like find the scrapple, find some vision, find some pick maybe. But Fløng, they're just so dominant in this game, even though they have been trading kills for kills. But now they're just going to be able to start up the Nash. And without Touch alive, I wonder if Lundqvist can even try to contest this.
Rottenbengi's looking to try and get something going. Sharp to go over the wall as well. Guff on the side, trying to get as much damage down as possible. That Silas using the Diana ultimate is so much damage. Fatty B gets the stun down, looking towards the Zaya. Should be able to secure it. No, they can't. Guff survives as Vankstead chasing towards Sadie will be able to get the root down. A decent amount of damage on the Jin. Will be able to secure the kill, but that's all she wrote as it's 4-for-1 as Fløng take the fight.
It's just so crazy, man. They're just so far ahead. Shafty just ults in his too tanky. No one can kill him. Rottenbengi as well has actually the most kills in the entire game, playing as silent support in the deciding game of the series. I respect that. They're gonna be able to pick up the Nash and almost a solid, almost tanky gold lead. It's not enough, but almost. And they just looks like they're having so much fun right now. Honestly, they're just not giving too much care. They just fight whoever champion they decide to see. And when Lucas Lightside is behind, it just looks so rough for them. I don't know how they're being able to like come back into this one. They need some sort of miracle. Honestly, maybe I spoke in the last series how maybe just the enemy team just completely disconnects, and while we did, then they can just pause it, right? Because it's a competitive environment. But this, like when it's solo chaos, hope that enemy just DCs all 5 and then you can maybe win. But if not, honestly, don't want to FF it, right? Maybe there's some slim hope, some chance. But as I say, that Victor is getting caught again, and he's just going down. Rottenbengi now 7 kills on this silent support.
I mean, I guess the later stages, you have the Aurelia, you've got a little bit more peel as a composition. So if things start going wrong for Fløng, maybe they struggle to find their way back in, but Shafty moving forward gets a lot of damage down onto the Jhin, and Touch once again is going to be the one engaged on. Nice knockup coming on through though. It might be the overextension from Fløng as they take down the inhibitor tower. They're going to look towards Svene on the target, but Shafty is still ripping people to pieces. Fløng will take the fight. They will take the ace, and they're going to take the series. They can choose whatever the hell they want. They've booked themselves tickets to take on Natives next week, sending Lightside home with a 3-0 scoreline.
A statement game coming in from Fløng. They just pick 5 kind of funny champions. I mean, I guess Sai and Malphite, they are the one with the most logic, but it doesn't matter what they're playing. They're just here to win. They completely turbo stomp Lightside in this final game, and they, as you mentioned, they booked themselves a ticket to play with Natives, and this could be a statement game in that regard as well. Maybe they felt like they were so confident, they knew they were going to win the series. Let's just play whatever we want to feel like, and so Natives have to really respect them coming into next week when they play for the final spot in the final.
I mean, if I'm Natives, I'm sitting looking at that game like, what even? How do we prep for this team? Like, what do we ban Shyvana? Because I questioned Shafty Shyvana. I went back on it because I realized I was wrong, and then Shafty was like, I know you've gone back on it, but I'm going to prove how wrong you can be. It was a strange build. It's not necessarily what Shyvana's been going at the moment, but it did so much work. It was ripping people to pieces, and I mean, Ron Bengi on the Silas support. MVP performance there. We're going to jump to a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to both of these teams, and I've got questions, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes. everybody. Welcome back to NLC Division 2. Vibrant MTES joined by Fatty P off the back of defeat in that last series. Fatty P, obviously not the best result that you were looking for, but how would you feel overall about how these playoffs have gone for yourself and the rest of your team?
I mean, with the regular split, it went kind of bad, and we won one series, so I'm kind of satisfied with that part. We didn't really expect to win a single series, even though we 3-0 the last one. So, I mean, I guess it feels bad that we lost, but the enemy played pretty well, and they deserve to win.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a mature mindset to have, right? Just giving props to enemy team whenever they deserve it. I want to talk about like a bit how you came in to today's matchup, because honestly, like Fløng, once again they had, I mean, at least they showcased it in the last game. They have so many flex picks to work with. Was this something that you kind of prepped for coming in for it? Were you ready for it, or like how did the prep go into this series?
I mean, we knew they had some spicy picks in draft, and it's always kind of pain to draft versus those kind of teams, like the Pike, Veigar, and Tryndamere especially, and even the Shyvana. But I don't think we did anything specific. We just wanted to play our own game, and we were ready for spicy picks, and even had some of our own, I guess.
Yeah, the Tam Kench looked really spicy, that last one. So, and actually getting solo bowler onto the map was impressive. Looks like both in the first and the second game, you guys were playing just towards the team fights, right? Was this something that you've been doing? You felt like this is like your strongest card, and you just have to kind of pull it out, or were you like ready to play different styles as well, as Fløng were doing?
I mean, we have a few styles to play, but it didn't really feel like we could play them that well today. The team fights were the first game. Our team fights were kind of bad, but the second were kind of decent actually. We should have won that game, but something happened and we cringed it. But team fighting is usually our best play style. 5v5 front to back.
I guess the final question I really want to ask you about the playoffs as a whole really is, against Rate you looked so amazing, and even in this series today, while you didn't manage to pick up a win, stuff like the second game especially, you looked really, really dominant after what was a quite weak end of the season performance in regular split. What would you say is your team's advantage when you're playing in best of threes over potentially the best of ones that you were having towards the end of the split?
We have a lot of experience on the team, especially with Touch Svenne. They've played for a really long time, and Victor even. So I guess I'm not sure if Rate haven't played a lot of best of fives before, but it felt like they didn't play to the same level as they did in regular season. And I think us as a team also peaked last week in the best of five. I felt like we didn't play to the same level today.
Well, of course, you're not always going to be able to play at 110%, but Fatty P, commiserations on the result, but congratulations on the final finish. Climbing a couple of places in playoffs is always a good thing, and good luck moving forward.
Thank you.
We're going to jump to a short break now, but when we come back, we're going to be talking to someone from Fløng, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes. everybody, welcome back to NLC Division 2. Vibrant MTES joined by Guff off the back of a dominant 3-0 victory in the playoffs, moving forward to take on Natives. What's the feeling like in the camp after such a great, confident victory?
I mean, we're honestly like really chilling after 3-0. I think game 2 was supposed to be a loss, but I mean, you can't really complain going 3-0. Like, we're so confident going into like our next match.
Speaking of that second game, I actually wanted to ask you a bit about that because, I mean, to my eyes, like you guys had no business in winning that, and I just wanted to ask you guys how were your comms when this was happening? Because Jinx was getting, I mean, you guys were kind of pressuring topside really well, but it's an Ornn. He doesn't really. I mean, honestly, this guy was completely cracked. Kind of behind the game on this Ornn. He was playing really well. But how was your communication like going when you realized that, oh shit, guys, Jinx is actually 3 items. He's probably gonna be able to carry if we don't play these fights well. How are you communicating?
I think honestly, like, we thought she couldn't deal with our front line, and she kind of couldn't in fights. And we always one-shot like somebody. So if we one-shot one of the tanks or maybe Lulu, I think I one-shot Lulu a few times, then she just can't play and can't deal damage. But we honestly thought the game was lost until the last part, for sure.
I mean, honestly, like until you guys were hitting the Nexus, I thought it was lost as well. I felt their teamfight comp was just way too OP. And you guys, I mean, you guys played her well around like there early, but she didn't really snowball hard. But honestly, you guys were just showcasing in the third game. Just how many flex pickers do you have? Is this just like the top of the iceberg for Fløng, or is this like, did you just decide, okay, guys, we're just gonna pick everything that you wanna play and just showcase?
Honestly, I can't really like say much, but like we have some idea on first rotation, and I think it's like really smurf, and I don't think like people can really contest it because they are pretty stuck on like the meta picks in the bigger leagues and stuff, and they don't really know what's going on.
Okay, so if Natives is watching this, they should be nervous. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
We actually talked to Chimera from Monster of Gaming. He was saying, "Look, I don't want to play Fløng because we just don't know what they're doing half the time." And I mean, that final game really cemented that. I guess the main question here is when you're talking about having all these different picks and these compositions where it's not obvious immediately to the eye exactly what's going to be happening, but you just fight and win team fights and win the game. How confident are you feeling going up against Natives?
I mean, it's the other Danish team, right? And I mean, Dansman told the interview last time that I had something to say, something important.
Okay.
And not to leak the script or anything, but we are gonna Goomba stomp Natives 3-0, like without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That's fighting talk. We'll have to find out next week if
that's how confident we are, for sure.
I'm excited to see you put your money where your mouth is when you lock in like Maokai Marksman or whatever it is that you guys are gonna put through the lab. I pray for your coach sometimes because
I mean, we're having fun, you know.
it definitely shows on the Rift, and we have enjoyed watching it. Massive congratulations on the victory and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Well, that is certainly a way to end today, a way to end the week with NLC Division 2, a 3-0 from Fløng, and a game. We had a bit of everything. We had a very close middle game. We had a game 1 where Fløng just were able to confidently win out. We had game 3, which was just fighting constantly, and a couple of team compositions that were a bit off the wall, I think is how we'll describe it. But they definitely showed up. M-Test, what did you make? What did you make of this week on NLC Division 2?
I mean, honestly, my eyes had a blast. Like the games were so, you never really know what to expect because again, like in NLC, I guess there's always like you can always like predict some sort of things, and that's what I love about this is like you can never predict anything. We saw in this last game, Fløng is there just too crazy, man. Natives really have to look out next week. I think it's gonna be a banger. And once again, I think for today's series, I think if somehow Lundqvist gets the second win, we have a series on our hands. They get kind of able to build momentum. I feel like when you lose a game like that, it's just so hard to come back, man. You really need like insane mental fortitude. And Fløng is showcasing the third game that they're not here to play around. I mean, they are kinda with these picks, but they are here to win as well. And I just respect them, man. I love to watch league like this, and also casting it is just really fun.
It was great just to be able to chat about that game and try and solve the Rubik's Cube in the final one of what is the idea, what's the plan behind it. And I mean, Gov saying, look, this isn't. People are just concentrating on the LEC meta or whatever's being played at the top level right now. We've got answers to all of it. And hey, Shyvana B1 in that final game really paying off for them. So, hey, maybe they can go the distance. We're going to have to find out next week. But I believe, I heard the word bracket in my ear from production. I didn't hear if it was we have a bracket or we do have an updated graphic. Thank you very much, Reed. As you can see, Fløng 3-0 over Lightside moves themselves into the semi-final. That is going to be on the 19th. So that is next Tuesday for anyone who wants to know exactly where you need to be to watch that one. A best of 5 once again. And then the winner of that one goes into our final. They'll be taking on Monster Rugby Gaming for the title of NLC Division 2 champions for this split. And of course, everyone's playing for those promotion points to try and get themselves towards Division 1 come summer. So every win counts. But that game, Natives Fløng, is going to be, honestly, the final is going to be hype. Monster Rugby Gaming sitting there already, really powerful team. Natives 3-2 against them last time, so that was a really close series. Fløng, they can do whatever they want at this stage because they just make it work regardless. We've got 2 really great matchups going into the final week of Division 2.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we have 2 certified bangers incoming, honestly. As you mentioned, Monster Rugby sitting comfortably in the final, but it's not like their win over Natives was easy. We went to 3-2, it was really a sweaty one. And now Fløng just, in a dominant fashion, beating Lightside. But just, this is next game. Natives versus Fløng just has to be a banger, right? We have the Danes versus the Danes. We have the Flex Kingdoms versus Natives, right? That is theirs. And I just can't wait, man. It's gonna be fun.
I'm really, really excited to tune in and watch. But that's all we've got time for today. So until next week, enjoy your solo queue games. Pray that you don't queue into Ron Bengi on Silas support, because that'll be a bad time for you if he's against you. And we'll see you all next week.
Good night, guys.